Welcome to VCT Pacific, the weekly recap where we recap stuff. And we are on week 3. We recap stuff topics on VCT Pacific.
Anything that comes to our mind.
Just stuff. And we have stuff, we have extra stuff, we have an extra guest today. We got Evan here, Warbirds, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us in our shenanigans today because we are going to have a bit of shenanigans. Now, I heard you watched our power rankings, our tier rankings last week with Achilleos and Quack.
Yeah.
And you had some opinions. Like, were there any things that you didn't agree with?
Y'all are some cowards, man. Nobody in D tier? Come on.
Okay, I wasn't on the show, so this is all on him. Okay, that I can understand. Yes, I don't feel like there's truly like necessarily like a completely hopeless team that I wanted to put in D tier. I thought you were going to give me flack for not putting you guys higher, and I'm like, I did. I put you at the top. I put you all the way up there.
Yet he's not happy.
But okay, for the other reasons, sure, if we do it again, I'll be ruder and more critical.
Nice.
Just for your sake.
Nice. We gotta get some trash talk here.
All right.
What would be the major change you would have?
You just like spread it out more. Like there are definitely some teams that like, in my opinion, are D tier. Obviously, like you can move up and down between the tiers, and like different days you play differently, different weeks you play like to varying skill levels. But I don't know. There's some teams that even now I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how they turn out.
All right. Well.
Who else belongs on S tier with you?
Gen G, they beat us.
Props to Gen G, they did. That was a close game. Actually, let's get into that. Let's talk about the standings so far, as of week 3.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's DRX and Gen G, 2 of our Korean representatives, right up there at 3-0. So pretty strong start. Paper X
feel good,
looking pretty decent, but then Secret, a little bit of a tumble for you guys.
Unlucky.
But it's mostly due to that map win-loss. You guys have played a lot of maps compared to a lot of the other teams. So that's why you guys are down there, below T1 at the moment. But
you got a better round difference.
Yeah, we got the +9.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you guys are still sitting pretty. I was mentioning this on the desk earlier. Like, I feel like you guys are guaranteed, effectively, in my brains, like playoffs. There's like surely no way. But I think that you guys are going to be able to get yourselves back up into the top 3.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Who do you think is going to make the playoffs? Who are going to be our 6 teams? Give us the 6
I mean,
teams.
DRX, Gen G, I think, given us.
PRX?
Yeah, DRX. Yeah.
PRX.
Oh, PRX. Yeah, I think Paper X will as well. I mean,
do you think
especially bringing something, and I think their last match they looked like a lot more cohesive. As for the last one, it's like a pretty big plus up. I think GE like they're 0-3 right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I don't know, like for them it's like in my mind I think they can be good, and I think they can take that spot, but obviously it's like an uphill climb. Zeta, obviously I think they can as well. They looked pretty good versus GE. But yeah, I think it's a pretty big toss-up.
The last spot's a toss-up.
Yeah. All right, now we have our week 3 MVPs. All of these guys showed up. Some of them who weren't performing so well initially by week 3, like Depp, for example, just rose from the ashes.
You disagreed with some of our power rankings. Do you disagree with any of our MVP picks from this week?
Do you think we picked the right MVP for Gen G?
Yeah, I think King.
Okay.
I mean, King had that really big round on Haven, if you remember.
Yep.
The
4K.
a 1v3 4K,
4K
on
clutch,
the B post plant. So like he had like some really big rounds because like our game plan was just shut down Meteor. Like before Brazil we like always scrimmed Gen G. Like we scrimmed them every single day. So like we knew what each other were doing going into this match, and like how we like to play and how they like to play. So yeah.
No wonder the reads on both sides were absolutely solid. Now there's one thing that's coming up next, a particular activity your team is really familiar and dominant with. It's called Melee Madness.
Yes.
Let's pull up these videos because we've had a lot of madness coming up. I think we're tied 2-2 with Team Secret and Paper X on
That's why we
Melee
lost. We
Madness.
didn't get a knife kill.
No Tondo. Yeah, no Tondo gaming today.
I mean, this was like
this
would be like the
blood.
OG one that kind of kicked off the season.
The best is it's like in the air, like it's a flying knife. Like this one is so good. Like he hits him on the way down.
That last little hit on the body, that's a bit toxic. We'll have to talk to him about that.
But that was, I think, the most glorious knife kill.
For anybody who hasn't seen our like plays of the week from that week, the editing that was done on that is some of the smoothest transitions I've seen. And they completely like pan out, and they just have this whole like animation where they pull the samurai sword, and then it perfectly plays into him actually
So good.
like dropping down and slicing. Really, really good, and definitely worth checking out. But yeah, I mean that set the bar pretty damn high.
Yeah.
For knife kills, it was stylish. It was kind of like the Lakia jump off of Heaven there on Ascent. But just with the solo knife kill instead.
I think executionally and just aesthetically, it was the best one. But you guys had one more knife kill that was also super impressive, considering it was a thrifty
This
round.
is all your fault.
It was an
You know
eco,
that,
right? It was an eco too.
This is all your fault.
Vosh had a frenzy too, right?
Do you guys train for this? Why are you?
No,
Do you practice this?
absolutely not.
I mean,
This is what they do in their scrims. They just do this.
the fans have been saying like that Jesse must just go in the DMs and try to get as many knife kills as possible. It definitely looks like it. And I just love the aesthetic differences between them, because the first one looks super sick because because it's that katana, and then this one he's just. He is flailing and he's using a mace, so it's just perfect. He's just desperately trying to cleave somebody down.
The freeze frame is pretty good on that one.
The little slow zoom in.
Yeah.
Just moments before disaster.
Yeah.
Now we have two other melee madness menaces to society paper wrecks. Let's see how you rank these knife kills.
One out there better than your own.
Paper Rex are starting to turn things up to 11.
This one was just unfortunate.
This one is just, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, now this is all just like Forsaken just playing with his food.
Yeah.
Look at his little face.
Hey.
It's just great. He's so happy with himself after doing
He
that.
was. I think he was. They were just a little upset they
what
didn't
is
get one on you
your
guys.
like? What goes through your team's like comms when they're like getting a knife or like after the knife? Do they like? Can you say it on air? Like, is it?
Yeah. I mean, like to bring up because the Team Liquid one. When Vosh got a knife, it was very similar to that, where it's like you just try to like keep his attention.
Yeah.
So like just calming like, oh, like bait for me, like just try to jiggle, bait out a shot, like keep his attention there instead of like trying to check flank.
Do you get nervous in those moments when you see them going for it?
So I have this thing where like whenever it's a tense situation, I'll like breathe through my teeth. So I'll go like, I'll do that.
Yeah.
So so sometimes the comms are ruined because like, you know, during our like mic'd up video, like you'll just hear like, or like me, because like I also talk a lot to myself too during the match. So it's like sometimes you have to throw away some of that stuff. But yeah, for the most part, it's just like calming to each other to help, you know, to draw that attention.
It feels like I think at this point, like if you see them going for it, there's enough trust, you know, that they're probably going to be good. They're not going to get punished on this one. But you're talking about baiting for them. I already know what the last clip is.
Exactly.
And this one is entirely set up because of baiting.
Exactly. Let's pull up that very last knife kill from Saturday, 2 days ago.
Yeah, this one is Devi, I do believe.
Starts the round.
As unfortunate little Zeta all on his lonesome.
They're just like spraying through the smoke. I think Benkai gives his life for this knife.
Oh, he does.
He does.
Yeah.
No.
It's
You gotta love
worth
it.
it.
I mean, look at this.
You can imagine the comms on. It's like, ooh, I got it.
Jing
died. Jing gave his
only
life.
died.
Oh, okay, it was Jing. Okay.
It's worth though. It's
They're
like,
totally worth.
It's like the mental damage that you do to them.
Yes.
They did it twice.
That's what they were talking about. I remember we had asked. I think it was something that we had in the interview, and they
Yeah,
kind of asked about it, and it's just like, oh, you know, it messes with their mental and whatnot. So it's if you can pull it off and you don't take too much of a punishment, it's worth it every single time. So.
Do you think your team would be able to take a knife kill as well as they give?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Would it
the
wreck
team.
their mental?
I don't think it would, because like
Take a penny, leave a penny.
I don't think it would. Like we have a pretty mature team. Like we have some of like the older players in the league, and then we have some younger ones. So like I think it might be case by case, like player by player. But I think for the most part, like we're pretty good at like moving on, like mental resetting. So.
Oh, it's good. It's good. I see you guys do bike rides around town
Yeah.
and just decompressing around Korea that way. Yeah. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but us in Vct Pacific, we love games, and I got another game for you guys, and it's a new one.
Oh God.
Hooray!
And today, the Myeongdong Hills are alive with the sounds of Valorant.
What?
Myeongdong Hills.
Are there
Not
hills
that
in
many hills
Myeongdong?
in Myeongdong.
I just wanted to
Not
say
until you
hill.
get to Namsan.
Okay. Well, I don't know. There's a little slope, like the little slopes of. Anyway.
She said Unpyeong, which is like right next to where we are. There's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
three
yeah.
different mountain
I didn't
ranges.
know that.
Samandong? We're in Samandong.
I have no idea what you just said.
Yeah.
I am also
Okay.
new to Korea. So anyway, they're hills and they're sounds of Valorant. And what's gonna happen? We're gonna play a voice line from one of the agents in Korean. And
Oh, this is doomed.
should we do a raising hand? If you know it, you raise your hand.
Sure.
Sure.
All right, we're in the classroom now.
Don't be surprised when no one raises their hand.
I don't know.
I might just raise my hand just to beat
Just-
like the other guys, just to say something. I don't need just,
just
to
to
guess.
say
Always take a
something.
stab
But
in
you
the
guys
dark.
can speak a little bit of Korean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't play on the Korean like voice pack or anything. I play on the English packs.
Okay.
I can barely read.
English or Korean?
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Let's play the first voice line. Are you guys ready to listen? I don't know where the sound is even gonna play from.
We might need our speakers turned up.
놀고 싶다면 어딘 놀아주지.
I feel like all the dudes are gonna
hell?
sound like Yoru.
I was gonna say it. Sounds
Can we play it again?
All right,
One more,
I'm
one
gonna
more,
go.
one more.
Oh, one more, but
Do you want to guess first, Clinton?
You both do.
I'm gonna go
놀고
Phoenix.
싶다면 어딘 놀아주지.
Are you going with Phoenix?
Phoenix. I'm going Phoenix.
That's not correct.
It's not Phoenix.
Let's do it one more time. One more time.
Oh
we'll
my
do it 3
God.
times.
놀고 싶다면 어딘 놀아주지.
I feel like it's either.
It says if you want to do something, but I didn't catch the second part.
Well, you know it's not Jet.
Yes.
really.
I feel like I feel like it's either Yoru or Sova, but I don't.
Let's take a guess.
Yoru?
Okay. Is that you got Phoenix, Yoru? Do you have a?
I'll go Sova. I trust you.
All right.
All right.
I'm wrong.
Well, you should never trust
It's doomed.
Professor Achilleos. Let's pull up the answer.
Who is this? It's not Breach, right?
You want to play? Let's play.
It's Chamber. Chamber doesn't exist anymore.
It's Chamber.
That's why you
See,
guys
I
don't
was
know.
close. I was the closest with the country because Phoenix is England.
I guess.
Oh, we're going off of geographic location and distance now.
Yes,
Honestly,
that's what
I
I'm
don't know how
going
the
for. I'm
French-
stealing the win on this
Sova's
one.
not that much further off.
That's true.
Honestly, the French would probably be a little offended you just said that.
Yeah,
I think
probably.
like the English and the French might have a problem with that.
Oh man, I stopped playing the game with Korean voice lines before Chamber was implemented, so I've never heard his voice lines in Korean.
Well,
Correct.
let's see if you can get the next one.
We
now.
all lost. What do you mean? Get
Nobody won
Like,
this.
I don't know.
See, if, as long as
We're
he
all-
loses, then I win.
Yeah,
We're all
honestly,
collective failures
We
in this.
just, as long as Seth is wrong. Okay, let's pull up the second voice clip from another agent.
어이, 나 열받았거든.
Oh,
Warbirds.
That's Neon, though.
yeah, it's. Yeah. Hey, I'm.
Let's see if this is
Yeah,
correct.
I'm pissed.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I'll actually give you what the line means.
Yeah.
I don't know if that what she says in Korean. Exactly.
Did she say, "Hey, I'm pissed"?
yeah.
Yeah.
Or
if
she
you
says
only-
she says like a swear word or something, right?
Yeah, she says she's pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she says something and then like I'm pissed.
She's just like, ugh, I'm pissed.
Oh, I thought she says actual word.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't pay
Oh, that's
attention
my
enough.
plan.
I
It
just
has
know,
bad words,
I
for
just know
sure.
that she says that. I'm gonna stop swearing now. But I
right.
know that she
You
says
almost swore
that.
once
we're-
already today.
Yeah,
That's
we're
true.
gonna bleep it out.
But yeah, I know that she says that, and then that's when she's on the enemy team. That's not her.
Yeah,
that's
when
not
she
her
pops off.
friendly team.
Right.
Yeah. So,
All right,
there you go.
let's-
I give more context than anybody.
You
I
might
think
get
they're
extra
right,
credit. If you're
sometimes.
right, you'll get extra credits for that. Let's pull up the answer.
어이, I'm pissed.
It's
Hi,
like, oi,
I'm
like,
pissed.
You know.
Yeah.
So,
All right,
there
you get a
go.
point and you get half a point
Half
because
a
there's
point.
extra credit.
All right, boom. I'm ahead of Clinton. Get wrecked.
Yeah, you're at 0 points, Mr. Paper Thin.
Yeah.
Let's pull up the third agent. What's the sound?
그래.
Are you kidding me?
Did she say gre? Like as in like all right or like really like.
That's it?
One more time.
Let's do it one more time.
그래.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just
That's
gre.
all we've got.
Yeah, it just means all right. Basically.
Oh, this is you're trolling
Well, you know what it
us.
means. Okay.
I know what it means.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Any guesses?
I want to say Killjoy. I don't know why.
Killjoy?
Because it sounds like turret.
I don't think
No.
like
그래.
do any of the do any of the characters have like a really short just like all right or yes like when they
Don't they all do? They
Well,
all
yeah.
do.
Is it Jet?
He's going
Is that
Jet.
a final answer?
I think it might be Jet.
Since no one knows, you guys can all take a guess.
I would think it's Killjoy as well, but
So
I don't know.
2
I'm not
Killjoys
sure.
and a Jet.
Jet, I don't know. I'm just thinking about her having some like really short voice lines because there's one where she just goes cool and stuff like that. So maybe
She does.
that's there. I don't know.
Let's pull up the answer because you're all wrong.
Is it like Sky?
if it's Sky, I'm gonna be mad because I actually wanted to go Sky.
What is it?
Let's show it.
It is.
What's the word in it? What did she say?
I was gonna say Sky and
My
then
second.
But what
What's the
did
real
she say?
line?
What's the play the audio?
play the English one.
Radio.
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 All right.
See, I
It's
was
all
basically
right in
yeah.
Radio. Okay.
All right.
I don't play Sky, so.
Well, Clinton loses.
Okay. Next, it's okay. We got 2 more,
Oh,
so
wait,
you got
more.
2 more.
Where's more?
Two
Oh,
more,
I can
3.
redeem myself.
Yes,
Oh.
to redeem
All right,
yourself.
You
we
can
got
look
this.
worse.
I got.
Okay.
Wow.
Let's pull up the next one.
That won't be hard.
저리 비켜.
That's
Okay.
Jet. That's
Jet's
Jet.
Jet's all
I got
thing.
it first. That was Jet.
Jet's all thing. We were tied. We were tied.
Well, okay. Let's. He did say it first. Let's pull up the answer.
Get out of my way.
Yeah.
Yep. That one's easy.
Yeah.
I'll take a half
Native.
point on that.
Native.
All right, fine. We're
tied up.
We're tied at 1.
We're all tied.
all
one.
tied.
I'll allow it.
All right.
So it all
No,
comes out of the.
you're a half point. Are you a
I
full point?
said I'll take a half point.
Oh,
for-
you're taking one of his half points.
No,
Okay.
so
Are
well,
you
he was
willingly
right behind
give
me.
that
I
to
was willing to give the
I'll take a half.
I'll give him
Oh,
the
So
you're
now
so
we're all
nice.
tied 1. So this
I'll tie
last
at
voice
one.
line
I think we
decides
gotta-
it all.
This is the decider.
We gotta check the rule book on this one. I
There
don't know,
is no
I don't
rule
know
book.
if there's extra credit
We're
allowed.
making this up as we go. This
I
is
know
a
they're
ball.
making up their own rules so that they can win. Okay, this is the last and final one.
It's like overtime. It makes it more exciting.
This one will determine the winner. Let's play that voice line.
한심하군. 감히 우리를 막으려 들다니.
We all know. We
all
all know
know.
who this
Oh,
is.
so
We all know who
easy,
this is.
Seth
Omen.
did raise his hand
It's Omen,
first.
right? Yeah.
It's Elman.
Yeah.
I am the champion.
I feel like, sure. Did you guys agree? We're gonna do just like, this is a democracy.
I mean, I don't want him to win, so no, but it's up to
Okay.
Warbirds.
Doesn't matter to me. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, he's, I guess, kind of the winner, but like by a slim margin. That was fun. I've never actually heard the lines in Korean before, so that was pretty cool.
Very different.
All right. We have a couple questions for you, since you are our special guest for today. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Clinton, you had a question.
Yeah, I think like the thing I want to know is like a lot of us going from like last year to this year with Team Secret. Like last year was pretty disappointing. You come into the team this year. Like, what to you is the biggest change? Because I think a lot of people would say that this team is greatly improved beyond just the 2 new players.
Yeah.
Like, what is the biggest change that you see with this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the 2 new players are like, in my opinion, like big upgrades. And I mean, Envy has definitely like, he has
crazy.
really popped off and he's really improved over the past like few months even. At least like since I have started working with them. And then, yeah, I mean, at least when I joined, it was just about like adding the fundamentals and the structure. I think that's, in all honesty, I think like the fundamentals is what like APAC is like lacking. You have teams that like might lean more into like, oh, like these crazy, like Paper X likes to lean more into like the chaos. And like that's a different skill set of like controlling chaos and like thriving in chaos. But I also think like, just in general, like the fundamentals in my opinion in NA and EU are like higher. So that's just something that we've been working on is like just getting our fundamentals up. Like we don't need crazy strats, we don't need crazy comps. Just like play good fundamental Valorant.
When you joined, I'm curious because obviously like you got a couple players on there that are older than you.
Yeah.
You're joining this roster as an American coming into a Filipino lineup. How long did it take for you to really get acclimated with all of the guys before you felt super comfortable making like overarching changes or saying like, oh, you've been approaching this the wrong way, or that kind of thing? Was there like a big adjustment period?
Honestly, not really. I mean, like I had my like week-long tryout, and like literally the first day, I just felt like it clicked really well. I felt really comfortable in the team. I could give my feedback, and they would kind of absorb it and like talk about it, and like make their own adjustments as well as my own. So I think a lot of it is just having the faith in each other. Like I don't speak, my Tagalog is not good.
Sure.
So
The maturity of the roster.
yeah, but like exactly, like I have the trust that they can like have their own discussion and like have us come to the same conclusion is like the biggest thing.
And then when was, if I'm not mistaken, did you guys meet in Brazil? Was that the first time?
That was the first time I met them in person.
How was that like? Finally going from like, oh, we've been talking on disc and maybe a couple like video calls or something like that during your trial period. Like, how was it? Being like, you guys in Warbirds. Like,
I was really nervous. I'm a pretty like shy person in general. So like, getting out of your shell is something that I'm like working on. But like, yeah, I mean, it like once I kind of made that first step, I think it was like pretty easy and like getting comfortable with everyone. But yeah, I mean.
If anyone can help you with that, it's those boys.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We've seen the adobo dance. It's like,
Exactly.
Now, with something in the mix for Paper Rex, because Paper Rex Team Secret was a big game that we were looking forward to last week, do you think that'll make much of a difference facing them off?
Yeah, I mean, I think something is like a really like insane player. He had like plus, what was it? He had like plus 120 kills like in his, because he played in the Japanese league.
Yeah.
Like,
well, he had like plus 62 in one match, and then before that he had like plus 49.
Yeah, exactly. Like his fragging power is like really high up. They're still gonna have like the same issues of like, okay, like if the fragging is off, then like where do you go from there? But I think in general, like it's a step up. But yeah, I think we'll have to see. Like I think for them, like I would be very surprised if they miss playoffs. I think everyone can say the same thing for them, but yeah, like I think in general it's a good improvement, and like just his fragging power is just crazy. Like that's what he brings to the table, and that's for a team that they rely on the frags. So.
And next week we're gonna have another 3 days. A lot of big games coming up next week. Let's talk about that. And which ones are you guys excited for?
I mean, as we get the graphic up here, the next week's matches.
There's Paper X and DRX.
Exactly. I was gonna say we're already talking about Paper X. That is by far going to be, I think, the most exciting matchup, and it's right at the top of the week. First match on Saturday.
I don't know about that second match.
Yeah, I mean T1 versus Gen G, I think will also be a good one. Because like T1,
really good.
T1, it feels like they're kind of like coin flip. It feels like sometimes they look really good and sometimes they struggle.
Yeah,
and
sure.
like Gen G is just always like consistent. So like if T1 like is playing well that day, I think that'll be a close match. And obviously like a lot of this is just like region versus region.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for Zeta versus DFM, but I'm worried for Zeta. Like if they kind of stumble in that match at all, then I have like huge concerns that they're going to make it to playoffs.
It has really big implications, that one, because if DFM does come out and they get their first win and they take down
That might knock Zeta out.
they could inadvertently stop Zeta from being able to make it in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or, I mean, at the very least, they could assist in putting them in a worse position for the playoffs, give them that lower seed. I'm actually also really interested in seeing Global versus Talon. This might shock some people, given how I was reacting
someone
earlier
gets a win.
yesterday. But
Someone gets their first win.
Somebody gets their first win, much like we had with RQ versus DFM before. But also because I do believe that Talon, despite how painful it was to go through that split map, were just hiding strategies. And I'm curious to see what they do look like going up against Global, because they realize that Global is not a team that they can mess around with. As you were saying before, they feel like a team that can do a lot better. We know that they can. We've seen them push teams that are, like DRX to the limit. So I'm curious to see what Talon does bring to the table in that matchup, and if at the end it'll all be worth it. But I mean, obviously, one of the ones when we're not talking about kind of dancing around is your guys' matchup.
I mean,
You
I just said that
excited?
one wouldn't be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, well, RQ's just got.
Who are
I'm trying to tiptoe my way around because we are friends with them, but like.
Do you have any words for your opponents next week?
You can stare
Now
straight into the camera.
Make eye contact.
Oh man, like I think it'll be a quick 2-0. Like I think they have potential, but yeah, I mean, we scrimmed them also like going into Brazil, and like I don't know, it just felt like we always had their number. Like whether or not like that's in us like us being good, or like where we kind of like compare to them, but we've always kind of just had their number. But like obviously like they've always been not like Paper X like weird comps, but like they've had some interesting comps. They had the Rain on Lotus. That was actually something we talked about during our media day. Is like, please tell me you guys are playing that.
What's been super fascinating is that these matchups have been decided weeks ago, actually. And the way it's been playing out week by week, it's almost, but say for the RRQ Team Secret matchup, all the teams are quite evenly matched. for next week. And I guess I want to re-highlight T1 and Gen G again. So while DRX and Paper X is a big one, the T1 Gen G face-off, you know, the Korean battle, I think that'll be super interesting.
I mean, one of the things that King talked about in his winners interview there on the English broadcast was we just took down T1 in the LCK to be the spring champions.
Yeah.
Yes,
So-
that's right.
There's no way we could beat Gen G when they just did that.
Right, yeah,
It's not fair.
It's true. They have that
It's
buff.
not, it's
they
not
saw
fair.
that trophy come into the Gen G
Exactly.
office and it just like
The Riot
lit them
Games,
up.
the Riot Games buff is real because the two
I
matches
like
that
that.
T1 picked up, it was also on days that their LCK team got victories and got themselves
not
into
fair,
first
man.
place in the playoffs.
Oh
so.
my
not
God.
Well, now
fair.
it's over. Now that buff is done.
It's not fair.
This is the last chance for it.
That's true. It's sort of like that sibling buff when like the older sibling comes
Unless-
in with like the big trophy.
Unless our playoffs happen around the same time as MSI.
MSI.
Oh.
Because T1 and Gen G are both going to MSI.
I think it does. Thank you so much, Warbirds, for joining our weekly recap. You're our very first guest.
Nice.
Thanks
And
for
you
joining
set
us.
the bar pretty high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Please come back every week if we can have
I'll
you.
come back as long as my buddy Alma Putty can come on.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So that's the
You got it.
condition.
We can
All right.
zoom out on the camera. We'll
friend.
work another chair up
right,
here.
yeah.
It'll be good.
Share, cozy up. It'll be fine. So thanks so much. For those of you guys who are tuning in, if you have any comments, remember to hashtag VCT Pacific with any of your comments. We might feature it here on the weekly recap. I'm Victoria, and with me, we've got Paper Thin, Achilleos, and Warbirds, the coach of Team Secret. I'll see you guys again next week.
Bye.